A speedy welcome to the show for everyone. This is the Speed Lane on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. I am your host on the show. My name is Marysyntia Hangeior, and I'm here with
Wandoo Tortya
and Felicity Girgir.
It's Monday, the 3rd day of August 2026. We are in the month of August already, and I hope that's looking good for you. Whatever you didn't achieve last month, I hope that you've made plans for it this month. Happy new month to everyone. And you know how we do it on the Speed Lane. The Speed Lane is where we talk about issues that affect our lives, our communities, and even our society at large. Now today on the Speed Lane, we are talking about the school holiday. You know how it is. School is out, the children are at home. For many parents, the routine has changed completely. Normally, children leave home for school, spend several hours there, come back, do their homework, and eventually settle down for the night. But now they have all these hours to themselves at home. Yes. And while the children may be enjoying their freedom, for some parents, it can mean more work, more supervision, and of course, more opportunities for children to get into things that they normally wouldn't have time for. Some parents have maybe found different means of coping, how they'll be able to maybe stop some of this. You know, parents are human beings too. Sometimes it gets to them, and also they still have to be there for those children, because at the end of the day, if they get themselves into something that they learn during the break, you know, it still comes back to that parent, maybe the child, and even that parent. So how are parents actually holding up, you know, during this holiday? I mean, sometimes that's already passed. Only with that one, some people have already seen, you know, the worst part of it. But like, how are you actually holding up in this school holiday? What are you doing? What are your children doing? Or are they just at home? If they're at home, like, what are you doing? Because you know how children can be. It's not easy at all. You know, as a parent, what exactly are you doing? Now, you also can call in and be part of this conversation. And the number for you to call is 090-3648 5868.
That's 090-3648 5868.
It's a Speed Lane on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM, and this morning we are talking about the school holiday. It's that time, you know, the kids are at home. What are you doing? What have you engaged them in? Maybe you sent them somewhere so that they will leave you alone. Not maybe just so that they will leave you alone, so that they will not even hurt themselves. Do something to their own self too, because they can even be danger to their own self. Wonder, what did you usually do, you know, during school break, when it was this holiday, especially this long one like this? What were you usually doing?
Well, what I usually do during my holidays is I go to farm. My mom takes me to farm, and I farm, I weed, I plant, and I do everything concerning farm work. Okay. The other time when we were on holiday, I was like, I told my dad that I don't want to be going to farm only. I want to do something else. So I told him to to put me into computer learning. Like, I wanted to learn computer. So he what he did was he wake up in the morning, he will on Gen and give me his system to learn, instead of me going somewhere to go and learn
computer at home.
Yes, computer at home. So at this point, I find it difficult to learn, because he's not really a computer literate. Like, he doesn't know much, and my mom will not allow me, because she will be like, what am I doing when others are going to farm? The other children are going to farm, me, I'm here learning computer.
Holiday.
I want to waste the holiday. So she now pushing me to go to farm. So I did not really learn much. So my holiday was strictly on farm work. Like, I used to go to farm instead of learning other things.
Okay, Felicity, what did you usually do, you know, during long breaks like this from school?
I remember there was one time that I was enrolled in baking classes.
Okay.
Yes, I was enrolled in baking classes for the entire 1 month. So I'll leave in the morning around 8 a.m. and be coming back in the evening 6 p.m. And then there was another time I was enrolled in computer classes as well. As I don't know, this thing of computer, I think it's everybody. Everybody who has gone through computer classes. And sometimes I'll just be at my mom's shop.
Okay. So it's the Speed Lane on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. This morning we are talking about the school holiday. How are you making sure that your children are still under control, you know, even though, because for some parents they have to go to work, even if they don't have to go to work, it's a whole new different routine, that everyone is now at home. You don't just have to maybe think about what they will come back and eat. Now, as you're trying to prepare what they are going to eat, you have to be making sure that one person is not beating the other person, like they're not fighting each other. This one is not happening. You still have to make sure of some of these things. So what are you actually doing? How are you keeping these children engaged, making sure that they still get something good and don't get themselves in trouble, even though it's the holiday? Now, number for you to call is 090-3648-5868.
That's 090-3648-5868.
And we are also streaming live on Facebook at Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM Makidi. So you can watch live on Facebook and even leave a comment if you have something to say.
And then I also remember when we were little, I and my two brothers, that time we were just 3. My elder siblings were in boarding school. I remember that they would lock us inside the house, and then my dad bought this white chalkboard and then markers, and he would give and say, you people should just learn from each other, whatever teach the other person. So they'll just lock us inside the house and we'll just be there. Everybody will be doing teacher.
It's more like your teaming. It's just me that didn't, should I say that's not because I'm here, that's what I'm saying. It's me that did not fight maybe with the person that was following me and all. I've always been that calm one. But you see my siblings, the way they'll be fighting, that lock up, my parents, I don't think they'll come back and actually like meet anyone safe at that point. You don't decide to like lock anybody up, So what used to happen, you see that experience of bringing a board and then marker, then they also did it to us, but then I'll be like the teacher. And then I'll be like the teacher and then telling them. So as I'm trying to like put everything together, that at least in front of them I have to give report. If they come back, I will tell that this is what you did, So it was usually like easier. And then there was time to like, my mom can even come back and sleep small. When she comes out from work, my dad can come back and then even relax more because we are doing the teaching and something like that somewhere else, and then everyone is trying to like prove their self. I know maths. I know this one. I'm able to score, and then we'll finish and mark. Like
always
write test.
Sometimes
mark.
no spelling bee.
Yes, exactly. Anybody that can actually spell. So some of these things were the ones that were keeping us kind of engaged. And I know that even that computer lessons that you mentioned at some point also, I think that was like that JSS3 break. That one is usually longer, even more than this third term holiday. That one, I think they enrolled me also in those computer classes. But then even at some point, I don't even know what was worrying me back then. I know at some point I'll go and not reach and then just be rounding the place and then come back until my mom noticed. One time she was passing there, she wanted to give me stuff. She wanted to give me something as far, my child is hungry, this place. And then she came around there, she wanted to give me something and I wasn't there. They said I wasn't there. And then I came back home and I was seriously like, I was there. They were asking me, if you don't tell me where you went today, I was there. Until discovering that she actually went there and then she did not see me. That's how I started explaining, I was late and the man always complains.
In my house, you will explain and tire.
Okay. So these are some of the crafty things. If you've been a child before, then you know that some of these things are likely to happen with children. So while it's even the holiday, like for the children to rest, it's like, should I say belt for like pinch for the parents to like stand. They have to even work harder, to make sure that they are safe. And again, even getting something out of that holiday, because there are some children that will play it. Even a small book that will come out of their head, right?
Like us, while playing, we'll use the word to teach each other something. Like I will just gather children around, we'll play, then use the word like we're teaching ABCD, like that. So that opportunity after playing, we'll play and even educate ourselves also.
And then if you go to my parents' house till date, you still see those chalks on the
wall. So it's like, some of those things were like making sure that the kids are in one place, know that they are attending this lesson and everyone is trying to prove themselves, and everything like that. So you also can call in and be part of the show. Number for you to call is 090-3648 5868.
That's 090-3648-5868.
It's the speed lane on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. And this morning on the show, we are talking about the school holiday. Where are your children? Or did you send them maybe to a relative to go and stay, and maybe something like that? Or maybe you're teaching some people, maybe this is the time that are teaching them even some things when it comes to chores at home, go and do this one. Or the first person to finish this one, I'm going to do like this. You know how it is, different things. How are you managing? Because as a parent, it's difficult, but at the end of the day, you still have to be there for them. It's just like times, should we say times 2 or times many of times your many. Work, right? But then there are still children that needs to
needs that
be cared for.
Okay.
Exactly. So what are you doing? But then one day when you look around, right, what do you actually see children doing like this break?
Well, when I look around, I see children playing. Like they go out, destroy things in the neighborhood. Yes, they cause trouble, they play, and I discovered that they eat a lot during holiday.
Okay.
Yes, like my auntie's kids, they eat a lot. They play. They don't have time to do this and do that, but they play.
Hello. All right, you can still call us back. Go on.
Yes, and sometimes my aunt will come back and be like, I told you to read 2 chapters a day. What have you done for today? And you discover that they did not do anything. They spend their time watching movie on system, playing football, and going around destroying things and playing with the neighborhood. So the things I see is they play a lot.
Okay.
Especially when there's no guidance. There's somebody to tell them, do this. You are supposed to do this. They don't go anywhere. Read your books. They play.
Now imagine you as a parent, you're just chilling at home. The next thing, someone knocks on your door. Oh, your child, you don't break hand. Yes. They were jumping the fence. This is because they are free. If it's that time that they will go to school, the children will actually come back and they are tired. They need that small time.
I remember that during my father always enrolls us in lessons even after school, so we leave in the morning and we're coming back 6 p.m.
Okay,
so by then everybody knows that our own now is to eat and maybe do even assignments we used to do with school self and then go to sleep.
Exactly. But like these days now, with that freedom, you just sometimes maybe as a parent you're tempted to let them just go and play. And the next thing someone is looking on the mama, this you don't see you're beginning not breaking hand. You don't stop these children, they are climbing the fence. They are doing this.
And another thing is that even when you lock those children at home, they will still disturb you in the house. Before you know, you are hearing a plate has broken in the kitchen.
Exactly. And for something like that, for a parent, while we are looking after the children, we are still thinking about it on the side of the parents as well. Maybe as children you will not realize that maybe you're actually doing some. Children will always be children.
Yes.
But then for the parents, maybe me grown up now, it's not like I have actually known what it feels like to take care of children, except maybe even for my siblings and all of that. For my siblings, I understand how it is with them. Always trying to separate. Oh, stop fighting. Oh, stop doing this. Sometimes I will have to maybe just calm down and then speak in a way that would touch their emotion, like emotionally blackmail them and act like I'm even crying. Nothing would happen. The moment I go back to my room and then I come back, my siblings are already at it again. So it's actually very difficult. At the same time, you're trying for them to be safe because the shouts I usually hear, when some of these fights are going on, I tell you, very horrific. I just hear someone shout, "Mommy, what am I going to do?" So
I have that experience like very, very much because I have younger siblings and then they are all boys. So you can just imagine. And then there was a time that I was the one that was with them, like only me, just me and them. The experience alone, it literally gives me nightmares.
All right, so you can call in and let us hear from you. How are you as a parent? How are you holding up? Did you send your children maybe to holiday lessons, maybe to go and learn computer lessons? Maybe you put them in some classes, maybe some of those skills that will send children to go and learn, or maybe you're teaching them chores at home, or maybe there's a secret that you are doing at home to be able to manage and make sure that everything stays in place, or maybe you split them, you go to your uncle's house, you go to this auntie's house. What exactly?
Or some parents actually still enroll in lessons even now.
What exactly are you doing? How are you holding up as a parent during this school holiday? Because we still have the whole month to go, right?
Yes.
So number for you to call is 090-3648-5868.
That's 090-3648-5868.
And we are also streaming live on Facebook at Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM Makudi. So you can watch live on Facebook and even leave a comment if you have something to say. How are you holding up, as a parent? How are you surviving it? And then what are you doing to make sure that even your children, because sometimes even if you allow them to play that place, either they'll bring trouble for you, or they might even forget some of the things that they know. To be honest, that thing about playing and forgetting, it's actually real. It's not fake at all. So what exactly are you doing? Where did you send them to, or how are you making sure that okay, they are in one place even at home? You can call in and then share that with us. And sometimes even when it comes like the bigger children, because we are talking about some children maybe injuring themselves, trying to play all this rough play, but you look at those ones that are in like maybe SS2 and then maybe even SS1, SS2, thereabouts, and you're like, okay, maybe these ones are not the ones that will play that kind of rough play of maybe beating each other and all these things. But then it's also that one, they also have risk of maybe sometimes they learn some things from outside. They are not busy, so it's like, oh, mommy is even going to the shop, or daddy is even going somewhere, or this one is going to happen, so this is the time for me to go out, and then there's always going to be eyes out there, or this is the time for me to go out and then maybe even start looking at boys, because that at that point the head is I know what I'm doing. I'm now a big girl. I can now talk to boys, I can now talk to girls, I can now do follow this kind of friend groups, this kind of boy groups. Like, do you understand what I'm trying to say?
I understand, because I one of my nephews, I actually have that, because during his break in SS1, and because he SS2 SS1, if I'm not mistaken, there was a time he was caught smoking in SS1. His mother wanted to run mad. Like, what do you mean you are smoking? So after she discovered that it was from the friends that he was following at that time, because she was thinking that at this age he's like responsible, and then she'll just allow him when he's going, even if he say okay, I'm going out to go and see my friend, she'll just allow him, only to be found smoking.
Exactly.
She wanted to run mad.
What used to happen back then in my secondary school, especially for this JSS3 long break, when they come back, when we resume, that's when you find a lot of just 3 students that are pregnant. I don't know how that used to happen. But then I remember small thing, they'll ring emergency bell. They found that this person, that long break, somebody, these people, they are children, they are children. And then that break was enough for somebody to come back, with another child, come back again with their own bag. It means that even though you might look at them, okay, this one is at least bigger, and then she or he might be able to, they might be able to take care of themselves. There's still possibility that they can go and do something, out there, and something that later, if you don't get the results now, you might get the results even later.
So that's when parents are relaxed. They feel that this is holiday, and the children can, like, you can go anywhere, especially when they're not around. So they'll just sneak and go somewhere without telling their parents. So that's when the results comes in. That's when they can go and do anything they want. And when school resumes, it's got that, this person is pregnant, because they went out during the holiday when their friends were not around. They were not aware of their whereabouts. Yes.
So how are you keeping your children engaged? How are you holding up, as a parent? Did you maybe send them to go and stay with a relative? Did you enroll them in holiday lessons? Or maybe you're even the teacher at home. If you're someone that is maybe a parent at home, you somehow found a way that you're teaching them at home. What exactly are you doing to make sure that even you yourself, you're not losing your mind? Because it can be difficult, it can be straining as a parent, and then you still have to make sure that the children are on the right track at all times. How are you holding up? What are you doing? Number for you to call is 090-3648-5868.
That's 090-3648-5868.
Call in and let us hear from you. We are also streaming live on Facebook at Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM Makudi. So you can watch live on Facebook and even leave a comment if you have something to say. What exactly are you doing? Are you training them in something? Or maybe it's the time for you to maybe teach them something at home, maybe learning how to even cook for the people that, that so that they might start from that stage, because at that place I know this is what I'm supposed to. Maybe they don't know everything at that stage, but they know the little things to do. Because I remember myself too, there was a time that my mom would just leave me at home, do whatever you can. And I remember one embarrassing moment that it's not even one embarrassing moment. There were so many times that happened. I'll just go and put boil the water, leave it there. and then go and sleep, so that when she comes back, she knows that, okay, I started something. It's not like I was just sitting and I'll just boil the water, put the water there, it's just drying up, and then I think one time I woke up from sleep and then I found that everyone had even come back, and they had already eaten, and then they had they were washing plates, and then to come out, the kind of shame that held me, that moment, like me that was supposed to be. And one thing about my mom, she's like, maybe that kind of encourage, she'll make you feel like, oh, you did it so well. Like when she comes out, all those praises, like, one, you know how to cook. Before you know, by the time you're in your year one like this, you'll be doing this one for us. So those things were like things that were encouraging me to actually like stick. So instead of maybe even going to play or something like that, I would make sure that I was doing. But one thing that was my problem, you see, that sleep, that particular sleep, I don't know what it was. That was like the only thing that I was fighting with then. So even things like maybe learning how to cook. When did you learn how to cook?
From small. I also wanted to add that even for me as well, it was during these little breaks that I was start cooking. I remember the first meal I ever made was boiled yam and stew, and then I said that everybody was like, at your age, look at the food that you have made, it's so sweet. It was like, I don't believe that it was actually sweet at that time, but the encouragement alone, my head was like glowing up.
So even when they left, you know that you have something to do, that you have to pay attention when your parents are not around. Like at least they have put something that is going to like hold you down at that place, and not maybe go and cause trouble outside.
Yes. Well, me, I started cooking at 8. When I was 8, and by then I went to my auntie's place. So there was no one at home, and there was beans.
Okay.
So
you started cooking from beans.
Yes.
It's not even yam.
It's not yam, it's beans. So I saw beans, and there was nobody at home. I was the only one at home. So I now decided to just cook the beans. And when my auntie came back, we were like, "Who made this food?" I said I was the one, and she was like, "The food was so lovely. It was so delicious. It was sweet."
Let me give you some hate. It's possible that it was not sweet, but they just tried to make you feel like
that's why I said I don't believe that mine was actually sweet. It was just that encouragement.
All right. So you also can call in. Let us hear from you. Where are you sending your kids to? Or maybe not even sending them to. Like, how are you holding up as a parent during this holiday? I mean, it's a long break, and we still have the entire month.
Every time back then, my mom was always shouting, "When are you people even resuming? When are you going to get out of my sight?"
Yes. Exactly. So how are you holding up? What are you doing? Did you send your children? Maybe are they going through like extra lessons, or maybe you enroll them in some kind of maybe Bible study, some kind of quiz place, or different things like that? Or you have a way that you are managing at home? You can call in and let us hear on 090-3648-5868.
That's 090-3648-5868.
It's the speed lane on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM, and my name is Marysyntia Hangeior. I'm here with
Wandoo Tortya
and Felicity Girgir,
and we are talking about the school holiday, how long this holiday is. How are you holding up when it comes to children, because you know that they are harder to even control at this level? You know how it is. They have all the freedom. They are not in school. They don't come back tired, because if it's for school, like after all the lessons, like you might not even need to tell someone before they try to like relax, or maybe even go to sleep, do their homework. They don't even have the time to do some of those. But when it comes to this long holiday, they wake up every day with that same energy to either make you have all the headaches, or just do something somehow that will bring you even out of your workplace, for someone to come and see what your child has gotten into. So how are you making sure? How are you surviving that? What are you doing? You can call in and let us hear from you. So why do you think is actually necessary to like maybe get children engaged? Do not just allow them to play all through, because some persons will tell you that that's what the holiday is for them to like rest, for them to play or do whatever they like. But then, do you also believe that like the entire holiday they should just be like playing and stuff?
No, they should not play all of those, because like as we have been saying, they are going to get into trouble most likely, and then the headache is going to. But if you get them engaged into doing some kind of things, even their brain, my father used to always say he's enrolling us into lessons so that our brain will still be sharp for when we resume. Yes, so it's just for them to still be active and still have that energy, and then so that you also like you also rest, because the way they would disturb your life. I'm saying this thing from experience.
Yes. So apart from like the the parents themselves, maybe to avoid that disturbance, right? Why is it necessary for like the children themselves, maybe getting them engaged in something, you know, that they can be doing, maybe not even outside, but even in their house, you know, something that they find that, okay, at this hour you people should gather yourself and tell each other stories, you know, everyone sits down and then tell yourself just anything at all. Why is that actually important?
Some of these skills will actually help them in the future. Some of these skills that we get enrolled to when we are still small, one way or the other, we always find out that, oh, in the future it always comes back to like pay off. Well, remember, you discover that, oh, I can do this particular thing. Sometimes it's those skills that you learn when you are small. There are some people who start doing all these small baking things, and then before you know, they are like professional bakers and all of those skills.
Well, that time waits for no one, because as they are small and they start learning something, it's better off than waiting for them when they grow up before you can inculcate in them the values or what they need to learn. Because for instance, okay, if you like children, you can teach them how to cook when they are young. So when they grow up, even if there's no one at home to help them to cook or care for them, they can actually do it. They can take responsibility while they are young, instead of allowing them to grow, or for a time in which you teach them how to cook. And for skills, if like my auntie would say that hadn't been I was opportune to learn how to sew when I was small, it will help me, because if you go to other television, you see that there are small children that right from small they started learning till now, and they are expert in it. They can do it like professionals.
But you know that it's not all children that can actually maybe get into some of these things, because you know, as we are talking about some of these things, some of them are with age. We talk about maybe the ones of maybe, let me say for example now, that's tailoring that you are talking about. Maybe for something like that, now you say, okay, is 9 years old too small? Like, remind me, how is a 9-year-old usually like? So you know that there's a specific age that you look at this person and you know that, okay, something like this, there are some children you put them, they will not be able to sit on that machine. Like,
yes, but when you are there, you'll be observing the things that are happening.
The parents are not always going to be around. That's another problem, because while school is on holiday, work is not on holiday. You know, daddy still has to go to work, mommy still has to go to work. At the same time, like her usual maybe routine of returning from work and then coming back to maybe cook and make sure that everyone is like well fed and the rest, she still has to do that. And then children on the other side. So if you say even supervising those, you know, that's another handful. It's more like you're not even resting.
It's more, I think Wandoo is trying to say, like, keeping them where those activities are actually going on. Like in a tailoring shop, you just go and tell the boss there at that tailoring shop that, oh, your child is on break and you want to keep the child here, no matter how small the child is. Let her just be here and be observing, like, this is what is actually going on.
Hello. All right, you can still call us back. It's 090-3648-5868.
Yes.
Okay, go on. No, go on.
So instead of the child staying there, like staying at home and destroying things, it's not better for the child to go there so that it will learn and even save the mom from stress. Because if you go, just imagine you went to work stressed, came back to a house that is disorganized, scattered, and the environment is
that's scattering of house. How did we forget that part? Now you can also watch us live on Facebook at Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM Makudi, and even leave a comment if you're trying to call and cannot catch up with us. You can leave a comment on Facebook at Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM Makudi. We saw a comment from Thomas Ikia, and he says interesting. You can also leave a comment on what you think. And you know, we're talking about that age something. There are ones that cannot go for that tailoring. Their work is maybe to be scattering things at home. And then what are you going to do at that point? You know, because there are ones that you cannot leave them with that tailor. It's more like you're just carrying someone that maybe the woman in the tailoring shop is going to like babysit.
Actually, there's a lady in my area from my village that she actually has this tailoring shop. So my brother's wife actually kept my niece with her, and she's just 3-4. Yes, so she kept her with her, and then when she's in that particular shop, I feel like that's actually like giving her that discipline, because when she's inside that shop, she doesn't leave. No matter what, no matter how much you come and stand outside and you're trying to make her come out, she's not going to leave, because she knows that if she leaves this shop, the consequences are much. And then I feel like she's also learning a little things, because sometimes I'll just see her doing, and this one you just have to do like this and all of that. So and maybe the age range matters, but I've seen a child that is that small and she's actually in that tailoring shop.
Okay, so you know that when it comes to skills and then different things that they can get engaged in, sometimes it's not just maybe those kind of, like we have mentioned, we have talked about this tailoring a lot, and then even the extra lessons, those holiday lessons. What else do you actually think that can keep children in one place, even in the house like that? What else can keep them in one place? Number for you to call is 090-3648-5868.
That's 090-3648-5868.
And one thing that I'll actually say is, some people, when it comes to like even their businesses, some people have businesses, like maybe the mom is someone that owns a shop. Why not actually take the child there, and let them be involved in some small parts of it, so that like you're keeping them, they're learning something, and at the same time, like what they are doing at that point, that they're not destroying your TV, at home, that okay, they are not out somewhere and then someone is trying to like deceive them or gets them into that okay, maybe if there is a broken arm, where it came from, right? So even things like that, because there's something, she doesn't usually follow me to the shop, why should he start now? Isn't it wise to actually take her along, at that point? Or even you, when you're at home, like as a parent, like everybody sits down, tell yourself stories,
Yes.
But one thing about that is, I actually realize now, like thinking back, sometimes my mom is sleeping and then someone will still by force go and open that door. Mommy, we're saying story, and then this person
Exactly.
oh my god, we're saying story to each other, and then this person started copying my own story. It could be anything, and then they'll just come and report.
I remember that my dad, at some point, my dad bought coloring books for all of us, and then everybody would just be like, okay, you take this one color, these are the colors, and then you keep, and then sometimes we just go, daddy, I want to use this color, but this one doesn't want to give me, and all of that. So at some point, there's always something, so long as that parent is around and they're at home.
And I actually wouldn't blame some of those parents that used to run out some days, because there are some that run out and just say, I beg, help me and stay here, yeah, I'm coming. One important thing, let me go and do this thing, and then someone has done that thing for me before, her kids, like, let me go and do this important thing, and then I'll come back. So the whole time I'll just be struggling, like stay in one place, like struggling to make them to not maybe injure themselves or do one or two things like
something.
this.
Sometimes the storytelling, they'll be like, mommy, tell me a story, and they'll be like disturbing you. Like, you must give them that attention, even if you don't want to. So they'll be like, I heard the story from somebody, like it's my friend, my friend's mom told my friend this kind of story, so you should tell me stories. So they'll be disturbing for storytelling, like tell me story.
But what do people actually think about this one of like sending them to maybe relatives, go and stay somewhere? Because like, is it not like extra work for that relative they're sending them to?
Right? It can be, but it can be extra work, but some of those relatives actually want it. Just like, and you are from afar and you have not really spent time with your relative, and send her over or send him over.
Let them come and be with these children.
Yes, let them come and stay with me. Or some of these relatives actually have skills that, because I remember that there was a time I was sent to stay with my elder sister, and then she was a tailor. So me self, whenever she's going to work, she also carry me along. So even if it's measurements, she'll teach me, okay, measure like this. So even if it's measurements, I'll be taking, and then I'll still be with her.
Okay, and I also feel like sometimes, just like you mentioned, when it comes to that person that will go and stay, even though she was not of age, it's more like children are more disciplined when they see another face. This one is not mommy's face, so she's not smiling like auntie will beat you up if you try something like this. So when it comes to that also, I feel like sometimes they are more disciplined when they are seeing other faces. The things that they will usually do when they are
with their parents,
when they are with their parents, they might not be able to try it there, like even if you
even that
fear to actually do them, they will not try it. Now you also can call in and be part of the show. Number for you to call is 090-3648 5868.
That's 090-3648-5868.
And we are also streaming live on Facebook at Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM Makudi. So you can watch live on Facebook and even leave a comment if you have something to say how are you surviving? Parents, this is like something very difficult if you have children, especially at certain ages, and maybe if you even have all ages, or at that age where they're even still fighting, they're still doing this one. Like, how are you managing? How are you surviving this long school holiday? Do you maybe send some of your kids go and stay with relatives, or is everyone at home? Is everyone is at home, how are you maintaining peace even as everyone is at home? Or maybe did you enroll them in like holiday lessons? Maybe they go somewhere learn, or even at home, because there are some people that will not take their kids outside, but like someone comes to like organize that holiday lesson, or maybe you yourself are taking an extra, you just know that okay, you're taking that extra time to like, okay, let them just be here, but at this particular time I'll give you drawing books. Everyone draw something. Everyone try to say write a story for me. Okay, that later on they are going to disturb you with that story and read it to you, but like at least they were able to maybe even be productive
for a little while.
Exactly. So what are you doing? And earlier I wanted to mention something about even the way that they eat is too much at that point. So tell me, talk more about it. Let's hear.
Yes. So the way they eat, when children are in school, when they are going to school, even though they are hungry, if their food is finished, hey, I'm in school, there's no way I can get another food. But when they are at home, they are more relaxed, and after playing, you are exhausted and you need food to eat. So they eat a lot while at home, because by then they are more relaxed and they play a lot. They need more energy. They feel that okay, if I finish this food, somebody will cook another one for me. So there's this relaxation that there's always food at home. So they eat a lot, they play a lot. Yes, they disturb a lot.
And then about this whole food thing, there is this thing, like my dad always says, he'll say that when you are free, you eat more.
Okay.
In school, you are engaged, like classes and all of that. So the hunger may not come till break time. Okay. Or even if you are hungry, still break time that you will eat. And then after break, you still not eat again. So when you're at home, as you are free and you're not doing anything and you're just playing, the energy that you are born, you know that you have to eat something. Okay. And then you'll be getting more hungry as you are not engaged in anything.
All right. Number for you to call is 090-3648-5868.
That's 090-3648-5868.
It's a speed lane on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM, and this morning on the show we are talking about the school holiday. We still have a long time to go. It might feel like, oh, it's just a month, but you know how it is. If you have kids around, then you know how it is. How are you managing? What are you doing? What have you maybe even enrolled your kids in to make sure that okay, at least that they are safe at all times? So even if it's at home, the people that are at home, they even have like the double work, when it comes to that. So how are you making sure that you as the parent, you don't even lose your mind? At the same time, your kids are still safe and they are not doing anything that would actually put them in trouble. You can call in and then let us hear from you before we go. So Felicity, we said all the ones that happened to us, right? But then, sometime a while back, maybe even 10 years back, even 10 years, little as 10 years back, is different from now. So like, if you had kids today and then you have to face this long holiday something, because I don't think it's going anywhere, like what would you actually do at that point to like hold everything together? You yourself, you will not lose your mind. What would you do?
I will enroll them into like learning all these skills, all this baking, all of those computer, all
the
of
ones
those
that
things.
are not old enough for that far.
You stay at home and the same way that I stayed at home and I was teaching my siblings, that's how you stay at home and be teaching your siblings as well. Just keeping them engaged at home, because as small children that they are, and just keep them engaged. Okay, or your color, or your let's do spelling bee, even if it's to spell is and to you spell it and all of that. Yes.
Wonder, what would you do?
Well,
they force you to go to farm, or remember that part, like
Well, I'll engage them. I'll do a to-do list for them. Like when you wake up, this is what you have to do. I will just list it out, or I'll paste it in front of the house, like in the room. Like I'll paste it on the wall for you to see that this is what you're supposed to do. And I'll remove all the gadgets, like all the system, because most children, when I see them, like they're in the room watching cartoons. Yes, they watch cartoons a lot, or movies. So when I remove those gadgets from them, from their let's say availability, they don't have access to them. So they will be able to read books. Like the book I gave you to read, you will be able to read it. And when I come back, I'll ask you what you use your day to do. Like, what did you achieve in today? Like, what did you do?
But you see, on the contrary, I think that's maybe like removing those things completely, because I feel like there should still be a little room to play. What you are saying is that play that one, you know, that when it comes to like long holiday, the play used to pass just inside room. Now it will it will grow to outside. So I wouldn't say it's like wise to like completely remove, you know, anything that they have to maybe even play with, because some of those plays used to help like even their thinking, you know, critical thinking, some of those toys that they can actually play with.
These cartoons they actually help them learn little English, because
is
my
that
niece
too much?
Yes. Too much, yes.
And when we say too much, I actually remember days that my dad would have to like come out in the middle of the night and say, come on, go and sleep, what are you still doing here by this time of the, you know, things that just because I know that I'm not going to school the next day, but like I would still be awake till that time, forgetting that okay, I still have my eyes that might even damage, you know, things like that. So there'll be times that my dad would just come back in the middle of the night, even though we like reduce the entire volume so that, you know, somehow he always knows. You see my dad, he always knows. And then like, go and sleep, what are you still doing here at this particular time, you know, of the night? So like personally I feel like okay, maybe the cartoons and, you know, some of these things, some of them are educative, like it's when it's too much, like all the time, throughout, every day, even when you're saying come and carry your food, mommy I'm coming, let me watch this part, you know, that's the one that I feel like, you know, it's too much. So Wandoo, you said that you make sure that you do a to-do list. Wake up and then do this one, so we know what you're doing with your time. Okay, interesting. So that is it for the Speed Lane today. I've been your host on the show. My name is Marysyntia Hangeior, and I've been here with
Wandoo Tortya
and Felicity Girgir.
And we have been talking about the school holiday. A school break is supposed to give children time away from the classroom, you know, an opportunity to rest, play, but it can also be a very different experience for parents, especially when they still have work and other responsibilities while the children are at home. So perhaps the answer isn't about maybe even keeping children busy every minute of the day. Maybe the important thing is finding a balance, like this is how much they play, and then this is how much that they are creative, this is how much that they are productive. Coming up next at 10 a.m. is King James 90s Top 10 here on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. And until then, keep enjoying music of your life.
Hello, my cutie. Asking Radio is here.